Yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy burstzgyt back here, and today's video is a little bit of a spur of the moment video. I was just sitting here and I had a little thought. The story finale, right? That's something that it feels really weird to talk about because we don't know much about what the end of the story could be like, right? It's not that it's unpredictable. It's not that it's super crazy or anything. It's just like there's not much to really think about in terms of an ending for this game. While it is a live service and its story is supposed to be ever expanding, in regards to the main arc that we are in with AIM, the Kree, Shield, and the Avengers, it leaves you wondering, like, where are they even actually trying to take this? Because when you really think about it, we've went to the future. We've seen a cosmic cube that had a time bubble around a whole bunch of Kree sentries and other Shield and AIM agents, Fury trapped there and whatnot. And, you know, we know that the wasteland existed there and all that. But, like, at this point, we know that that future honestly kind of doesn't mean anything, right? You know, we faced Monica. We changed the future. As far as we know, and in my opinion, Monica and Old Man Clint are trapped in the cube. And nobody knows that. We know that there probably is a clone that's in place of Monica right now. She was working and, you know, operating AIM, probably working with Claw. That's what I assume. I think that Monica just has clones that will take over from where she last left off. And yeah, you know, our story hasn't advanced much after the War for Wakanda arc, of course. And that's just mostly because we haven't had any story point updates like that. And that usually comes with characters and or villain sectors, or I guess OLTs, and we haven't had enough of that to really like clarify where the story is going. Now my dilemma is getting into the Kree. There's really not enough to really sit on of what could happen, and I understand that we're eventually supposed to get there, but when you really think about it, who is actually running this invasion on Earth? There was no mention of Captain Marvel in the, you know, wasteland, future imperfect whole thing. Considering that it's based around Kree, nobody mentioned Captain Marvel or anything about Kree necessarily, which is weird. The only thing I can think of is an evil Captain Marvel, or evil. When I say evil, I mean mind controlled. You know, they're not going to make Captain Marvel necessarily a bad guy, but evil Captain Marvel, evil Marvel, supreme intelligence of some kind, doing something crazy. I don't know. Ronin being Ronin. Hell if I know, man. There's just a different amount of things you could think of who really is behind this whole thing and what's the purpose of it. I guess the only other thing you could think of that's logical here is the Kree finding out that their experiment actually failed and they just never knew about it because they never got a beacon saying everything went sideways. And when the Kree sentry went down in the story, that was a signifier of, hey, yeah, we're fucked. Come help us, right? That's the only logical thing I can think of, and we've seen that already. We've seen that in TV show Agents of Shield, and I'm pretty sure we've seen that in some form in a comic, you know. And even, you know, if you read the audio logs, Thor mentions, you know, Kree experimented on humans a long time ago, and the humans rebelled. Again, we're just left to kind of assume that somebody up there just has beef, right? Now, if you're not reading into things, like, you probably won't think of what I just said, but we're kind of just sitting here wondering. And I gotta say, if they're taking the route of it's the whole Kree experimentation thing and they found out that everything went wrong, and that's why they're taking like a war argument, whatever, against Earth now, I gotta say that's pretty boring. You know, I think that they had a much interesting story to tell if they would have included you know, in the Inhumans on Adelan or wherever they currently reside on the moon and stuff like that. You know, Black Bolt, Medusa, and maybe you don't have to make them playable, but you need to make them some part of the story. If you look back a long time ago, there was some dude named Rick Stalder or something like that that had accidentally, I guess, put up early concepts and stuff like that on ArtStation. Miller was able to grab those, and Black Bolt's icon was there as like a faction. So that tells me that potentially could have been a story point. However, you never see it again. And I just sitting here wondering, like, what could really be a shock value moment in Avengers as a finale for their main story arc right now? And I can't seem to think of one, because I just don't seem like, I don't see anything super interesting or crazy going with this Kree war. You know, we're left here not understanding anything, and the Avengers currently are ground level heroes, and they're bound to the ground because of, you know, not a lot of trust with the public, and they're just doing things around Earth right now, gathering their team. Again, there's still no real movement on the story. It's just, hey, you're here and you got your own problems, all right, let's help you out. And yeah, you know, Fury is coming in an update. I don't know what story points he may bring, but I imagine, I would hope that he says something about Captain Marvel, because she's not like dead. She exists in some capacity. The Avengers, I would assume, should be able to have contact with people like that. The first person you think of when you hear Kree War, you're like, oh man, Miss Marvel or Captain Marvel or Carol, or whoever you want to call her, should know something about this. She is, you know, got Kree blood in her. Maybe we should call her up. I don't know. But you guys let me know. How do you guys feel about the current story and where it's headed? Because while things like Ultron may be cool, and potentially Hydra if Bucky does come this year, and things like even, I guess, Red Hulk, if you're into that, could be cool. But this is an Avengers game. It's an Avengers story, and typically the stories are supposed to be really catastrophic and crazy, and right now it doesn't feel like that yet, which for an Avengers game, I gotta say, it's a little up and down. You know what I mean? Ultron is gonna be cool. I have a feeling if and when he does come, because they've kind of been putting little tiny story beats for the last year and a half or so about him. Maybe not directly, but if you look through the lines, you'll see it. And you know, I don't know, man. They gotta really amp it up and really give us what's going on here with these Kree, besides a war, right? We don't know their actual intentions for coming to Earth, and that's pretty much what's bothering me about the story, and kind of making it hard for me to follow, because I do understand we're missing what I believe to be a core central part to the story, which is patrol, because it literally says you go there to find clues. But the future doesn't matter anymore, because the future changed, unless by their standards they're in the same like MCU type of timeline where going to the past doesn't change your future, but you can go there and still see this outcome, right? Somehow. That would be the only explanation for why they still exist. Because when I think of it, those times you go back don't matter anymore. You're just replaying them because you can. It's a game. Like, story wise, it doesn't matter anymore. You go there to stop Maestro's he's done for. You can't go to the future now, or past, whatever. He doesn't have the fucking shit that he needs to make time travel possible, right? I forget what it's called. You go to patrol. It technically shouldn't matter if you beat Monica, and you change the future and she doesn't have the cube anymore. She shouldn't be sitting there with a cube with a time bubble, right? Like, that shouldn't be possible. But then again, we don't know what patrol looks like in what capacity. That could be a changed wasteland for all I know. But if patrol does come and it comes with some story elements, it'll be good, I guess. I'm just hoping that they find a way to really move forward with the story and get us somewhere that makes sense. And I hope I'm not the only one thinking like this, because I can't wrap my head around it necessarily. And there's other story points which I can't wrap my head around because they're just left open. And I don't think they're going to get to them, because right now the main focus needs to be on their main story. It really does. But you guys let me know down below. How do you guys feel about the story? Where do you guys think it's headed? And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next video. This was just a spur of the moment video. And yeah, it's been awesome getting this off my chest. So see you later. Peace.